This is the seated Buddha at Cave 20 in the Yungang grottos, which are located in present-day Datong city of the Shenzi province in China. Built around 460 CE during the Northern Wei dynasty, this artwork was overseen by a Buddhist monk named Tanyao. Tanya was in charge of the first 5 of 252 caves built by many Chinese dynasties. These were caves 16 through 20. What Tanya probably didn't realize at the time was how popular these works would eventually become. I will be talking about 5 elements that make up the artwork along with the creator's point of view, the legacy this artwork left behind, and an interesting story to accompany all of this information. 5 elements that make up the artwork are form, content, style, medium, and technique. Firstly, form. Form encompasses qualities of line, shape, color, texture, space, mass, volume, and composition. This is a sculpture, so it doesn't have all the same elements as drawings and paintings, but there are different terms to describe the form of a sculpture. These are open and closed forms. An open form is where the attention of the viewer is scattered at the different objects in the piece, but a closed form is where the attention is focused inward. The seated Buddha is focused inward, so it has a closed form. It's made out of sandstone and stands at an astounding height of 13.7 meters tall, which is about 45 feet. Just for comparison, that's a whopping 8.5 times as tall as me. It has a bit of a rough texture because the Buddhists wanted to make it look like wood, but they smoothed out areas with details, such as the face. Many of the statues in the Yungang caves were carved and painted to look like wood. Overall, the seated Buddha's form has since inspired many works of Buddhist art in China. Next is content. So, content basically includes the subject matter, which is what the artwork represents. Not all pieces of art have a subject, but many do. This piece depicts a large Buddha seated in the center and a smaller one on the side. Also, there are many small inscriptions inside the cave. This statue is meant to represent the Emperor Tao Wu, who reunited the war-torn northern region. Style. Style is a combination of form and composition that makes a work distinctive. Yungang grotto art shows the influence of Indian Buddhist art combined with traditional Chinese artistic styles. In Cave 20, the giant Buddha sitting in the open is regarded as a typical example of the grotto's early work, as all the details from his facial appearance to his dress style bear strong resemblance to the people who lived in northwestern India, northern Pakistan, and Afghanistan at the time. Absorbing Indian Gandhara Buddhist art, the sculptors here developed traditional Chinese art melded with social features of the time. Medium. Medium refers to the material or materials from which a work of art is made. This particular artwork was carved into a sandstone mountain, and historians believe that it may have been a temple in the past because one day the mountain's face collapsed and revealed this art piece. Lastly, there's technique. So, technique is the process used to make the work. All of the Buddhas in the 252 caves were stone carved, and many of the carvings were actually painted. According to China.org.cn, between 453 and 523, nearly 40,000 craftsmen joined the massive royal project and carved out 50,000 Buddha statues and 53 grottos on a 1-kilometer cliff to the south of the Wuzhou mountain. Created by the head of the Buddhist church, the colossal depictions of the 5 works that were created by Tanyao were equated with the first 5 emperors of the Bei. These statues also allowed for a greater representation of Buddhism and helped spread it even more since travelers would be exposed to them when they visited to trade with the Chinese. Did you know that his statue, along with the others of the region, are believed to have been created to commemorate the earlier members of the Wei dynasty and to make amends for the fact that in his last years, the previous Wei emperor, Tai Wu, had persecuted Buddhism? He believed that the Buddhists supported the rebellion of Gaiwu, so he ordered the abolition of Buddhism at the penalty of death. This artworks form has since inspired many later works of Buddhist art in China. It was made along the Silk Road and was a good way to convey Chinese beliefs and exert their power to those who traded with them. Maybe someday I'll be able to visit China and see it in person. Anyways, thanks for your time.